Hey guys, how's it going? Kevin Cleary here with a discussion video. Let's call it that. It's sort of a first impressions. I haven't had these knives long. I haven't put them through a lot of use, but I've had this one for a week or two and these two for a couple of days. So just wanted to sort of give an initial impression, how I plan to use these for the channel. Of course, I do need to extend a thank you. Okay, these knives came, especially at least these two. This one wasn't, but these two came from Amazon Associates revenue. So keep using my Amazon store, keep using those links. It does help the channel an awful lot, and it allows me to get stuff like this that, honestly, guys, these are not my favorite fixed blades out there, at least not yet. Maybe getting to use these for a while will completely convert me to the biggest Mora fan who's ever lived, and that's totally possible. But these are not knives I would have picked up unless the circumstances that allowed these to come, which was, I had some Amazon associate revenue and wanted to, been curious about Moras for a while, so went ahead and picked up a few of them to share with you guys and to use for comparisons and stuff like that. So, first off, thank you. Keep using those Amazon links. I will put links to these knives below as well as to my Amazon store. And in the store, I've got almost everything that I've ever reviewed, anything that I like and I've bought on Amazon, I add to my Amazon store. So keep using that. It's very, very appreciated. So these are pretty simple tools. They're very, very well known, right? Every single YouTuber, whether it's a knife channel or not knife channel, whether it's like a gear and outdoors channel, whatever, there's tons of content out there about Mora knives, and that's one of the reasons I was so curious and wanted to try them for myself. But I also know, I appreciate value stuff, and if these are good and they're budget friendly, I feel like I want to at least give them a try and be able to share some thoughts with you. Finally, I know a lot of you guys that watch my channel like some of the higher end stuff, and I do too, but it's nice to check out some stuff that's a little more budget friendly and see how it compares. I try to get a good handle on, budget friendly folders, but I don't get as many fixed blades, so working on remedying that. So having gotten all of that out of the way, let's take a look at the three models that I'm going to be talking about using and comparing in some future videos. So first up, we've got the Mora Companion, probably the most common and famous of the group, and this one is in the stainless steel. Moving on to the next one, this is going to be a little bit different. This is the Mora chisel, and it's from the Craft line, and there are a number of, they're sort of even cheaper than typical Moras, and they're designed, to lean toward the tool aspect even a little bit more than a typical Mora. And then finally, we've got the Bushcraft Black. All right, I went with the one without a ferro rod attachment because I've got lots of ferro rods, I've got lots of attachments, I didn't feel like I needed that. Okay, so these are the knives we're going to be, looking at, talking about. I'll quickly give a rundown on these knives and then the sheath as well. You can see here, this is the stainless steel. It's Scandi ground as usual. Fairly substantial rubberized grip there. These are not full tang knives. Similar idea here, only with a very different blade shape. This is a chisel grind, of course, and same sort of rubberish overmolded grip. Again, not full tang. Now on this one, I have to say I really wish it was, because one of the common things to do with a chisel is, to put it into a piece of wood and tap the back end with a hammer. Well, you're not going to tap this with a hammer. It's not full tang, so it reduces its utility just a little bit. And then finally, the Bushcraft Black, which is a little heavier duty carbon steel blade. It's funny. I know these are supposed to throw sparks from a ferro rod, and it is very sharp spine. Often people have commented on that. Again, a big, comfortable handle, which is sort of the theme here with these knives. All right, just to reiterate once again, both of these are carbon steel. This one is the stainless. In terms of size, these are fairly standard, okay? There's nothing too crazy about these guys. Starting with the Companion, it's 9 inches in the sheath. All right, so fairly small carryable knife. I'm not going to take these stickers off because it's going to leave a big messy glue stuff stuck on there, so I'm just going to leave them and let them wear off over time. The knife itself is 8 5/8 overall with a 4-inch blade, 4 3/4 on the handle, and 4 inches of grip area. The weight on this is only 2.9 ounces, so very, very lightweight. And even with the sheath, it only comes up to 4 ounces. So in terms of something you're going to carry with you all the time, that's pretty handy. And if you're one of these ultralight backpackers or something like that, I think this would make a really, really nice option for you. Moving on to the little Mora chisel here. The numbers on this guy, this is 7.5 inches overall, 2 15/16, so just a hair under a 3-inch blade, 3 3/4 grip area, so quite a bit of grip, very, very comfortable, 4.5 inches on the handle, weighs in at 3.5 ounces, just the knife, and 4.6 ounces, where's the sheath? 4.6 ounces with the sheath. So again, fairly lightweight. I'm going to I bought this and I'm going to clip it to my tool belt and use it on when I'm doing construction work, which I do a fair bit of, and that's how I envision using this knife. And when I do my review, I'll probably, I'll review it with some wood around. This is not to me a knife you're going to take out to the bush. This is a knife meant for the construction site, and that's how I will use it and review it. Finally, moving on to the Bushcraft Black. This is, I went back and forth about this one versus the heavy duty. Ultimately, I chose the Bushcraft Black. Really wanted to spend some time with it, see how it performs, especially compared to, I've got a number of knives that I like for outdoor use, and I've got some videos coming up with those knives, and I think this is going to make a great sort of comparison as well. So this guy, again, it's a Scandi grind. The biggest of the three, 9.5 inches overall, 4 3/8 inches on the blade. Oh, I should say, wow, I'm messing this up. Sorry, guys. The blade with the sheath is 9.5 inches. All right. The blade is going to be 4 3/8 inches overall, so 3/8 of an inch longer than the companion. 5 inches on the handle, 3 7/8 grip area. This guy weighs in at 3.7 ounces, and with the sheath is 5.2 ounces. So again, for its size, and this one, there's a lot more rubber here. There's a little more material involved, but it's still very lightweight. Like, how many folding knives have we looked at that weigh 5 ounces? Quite a few. All right, so what do these guys all have in common? Well, they've all got this similar rubber handle. They've all got this fairly basic plastic sheath. This one came with 2 sheath options, either this clip that can go over a waistband or a completely closed belt loop. I, of course, went with this because I rarely wear a belt, and 2, I really like that option to be able to take a knife on and off my waistband whenever I feel the need to do so. To me, that's pretty important. Very comfortable handle. Every one of these, when you get it in hand, you really feel like, hey, this is nice. This is like the lazy boy of knife handles, right? It's just very comfortable, very grippy. You can easily see. Let's keep them out of the sheaths. What the heck? Okay, you can easily see why people like these and how they are designed to be, tools that get some work done. None of them are full tang, and I already mentioned that with the chisel. That's a bit of a disappointment. I feel like I know they're going for, very budget friendly, very lightweight, but I feel like, couldn't it still be budget friendly and just have this steel go all the way to the very end? I don't know. And Mora does have, like, the Garberg is full tang, and I think the Canspool might be full tang, but they're much more expensive, and I feel like, I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but maybe I can't imagine how adding that much steel, right? These are sort of rat tail tangs, maybe they end about here. Well, how's adding that much steel going to just destroy the price point? I just don't get it. Anyway, so I'd like to see that. I doubt Mora's going to change what they've been doing for years and what's been working for years. They are popular knives, and so, they're not going to change them just because one guy on the internet said so, but I do wish these were full tang, especially this one, because as I mentioned, with a chisel, one of the things you want to be able to do with it is hit it with your hammer, and you're not going to be able to do that. Now, this does make up for it a bit, and one of the reasons I picked this up is because I like the idea of being able to hold this. Let's say I'm notching something out of a 2x4. I like the idea of being able to hold this and tap it with the back of my hammer, and clear that out or spin it the other way. So I really like the idea of, what it lacks by being able to tap it this way. At least you can hit it here with your hammer, and you're going to be, pounding on steel, so it's going to work pretty well. All of them, so I'm talking about why I got these and what they have in common. All of these are going to be fairly affordable. That is really, really nice, especially if you're the person who loses stuff or breaks stuff all the time. Breaking this doesn't really hurt as much as, I don't know, breaking your new Lion Steel or Bark River or something like that. All right. And so finally, let's lastly talk about what I hope to do with these. Why did I buy these? Well, first of all, curiosity, man. I was, so many people have talked about these. I've watched tons of videos. I've seen them in lots of comparisons, and I just haven't had any experience to really draw on for myself. So I wanted to be able to spend some time with these knives and to kind of learn what all the fuss is about. Why are these so popular? Why do people like them? Have I been completely misguided in sort of ignoring them up to this point? So for all of those reasons. And by the way, I also think these will make great comparisons. I already mentioned that, but in other videos, since everyone is familiar with the Mora Companion and really with the Bushcraft Black as well, I think they'll make really good comparisons. I've already mentioned that the chisel ground is for specifically my tool belt. Finally, I wanted to spend a little more time with the Scandi grind. I haven't got a lot of knives that are in Scandi grind, and I definitely see some value to it, right? Especially, I don't have anything, but for sharpening in the field or even sharpening in general, there is a benefit to that Scandi grind of being very easy to just lay that on your sharpener and rub away. Now, yes, you're going to have to remove more material than you typically would, but it's going to be so easy to keep your angle nice and consistent that I definitely see a benefit for that, especially to someone maybe who's newer to knives, that they can just, grab this, lay it on their sharpening stone, and they know they're getting that angle right because you've got such a huge surface area to kind of press down on and make sure. All right, so again, I think that's pretty useful as well. What are my initial thoughts? I think all of these feel like very good tools, feel like definitely useful for getting a lot of work done when if you've got to do a lot of cutting, a handle like this is going to be great and you're going to experience much less fatigue than you would with something that has a smaller, slimmer, less comfortable, less grippy handle. So I absolutely get that. The overmolding, who knows how it's going to wear, but again, you don't really care because they're quite budget friendly. And so yeah, my initial thought is, hey, really nice budget cutting tool, right? Great for someone who, needs a fixed blade knife. Maybe you're going hunting for the first time, you're going fishing, you're not sure if you're going to do this ever again, but you should have a knife with you. Well, a Mora I think is a pretty good choice because even if you do never do it again, you've at least got a handy tool around it and it only costs you 20 or 30 bucks. So I think that's pretty good. I think overall, I get why so many people own these and have them, and especially with being as lightweight as they are. The one other thing that I think about this is, yes, I feel like when I'm in the bush doing stuff, batoning or something like that, I'm probably not going to be as comfortable batoning with these knives, these two really. This one's going to be more on my tool belt. I probably won't be as comfortable batoning or doing some really harder use tasks with these as I would with some of the other knives that I have available to me. So there you go. Those are my first impressions. I'd love to hear your comments down below. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget, tell me your stories. If you've got Moras, if you've broken them, if you love them or hate them, I'd love to hear why down in the comments. So again, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out my Amazon store and the links to these knives because that does help the channel. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon.